second. Hold on. I'm trying to get it together. Hold on. What's going on? What's going on? Hold on. Testing, testing, testing. One, two, three. What's going on, y'all? What's going on? We're just gonna be watching. Let me see. Let me see. What's going on? What's going on? Testing, testing. One, two, three. Okay. Let me know you hear me. It says green on now. I'm fix that. What's going on, y'all? What is going on? Okay. Yeah, I meant to come in. Hold on. Hold on. My ass. I almost violated last night. I almost violated. Lord, what is going on? Hold on, y'all. Alright. I'm gonna start playing a few videos that I want to play because I got my second phone here and we just gonna be talking about stuff. Just chime on in. Y'all let me know y'all in here. Let me know if it's playing and hear me or not. Let me know if you hear me or not. Hold on. Back him. So we're gonna play and start layoff. This is the video we getting ready to watch. The link is in the chat. I'm supposed to play it right now. Okay.
In 4 years. In the middle of 2022, they had over 100,000 approved carriers. As of the end of last quarter, about 64,000. Do the math. That's roughly 40,000 carriers who used to be able to hold for LANDSTAR freight and now can't even get in the door. And here's the part that should make A LANDSTAR story. LANDSTAR is just the one that said the quiet part out loud. This is happening across the entire brokerage side of freight right now, and if you're a small carrier, you are the target. Let me tell you exactly why this is happening. Because the official reason and the real reason are the two very different animals. The official reason is fraud. And look, I'm not going to pretend freight fraud is not real, because it absolutely is. Cargo theft losses hit nearly 725 in a single year. The average loss per incident, almost $270,000. Double brokering, carrier cloning, identity theft. These scams have gotten so sophisticated that a broker can get burned for six figures on a load that looked completely legitimate on paper. So yes, brokers tightening the screws on who they let into their networks, there's a real problem underneath.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on, y'all.
Decision in May that just detonated the legal ground brokers have been standing on for 30 years. It's called Montgomery versus Carib Transport. Unanimous ruling, 9-0. And what the court decided was that freight brokers can now be sued under state law for negligently selecting a bad carrier. They can be sued for decades, brokers hid behind a federal law, the FAAAA, that basically let them say, hey, we're just a middleman. You can't hold us responsible for a crash. That shield is gone. Justice Barrett wrote that if a broker fails to exercise ordinary care in picking a carrier, that's a safety issue. And states get to hold them accountable for it. The get out of jail free card brokers played for 30 years. The court set it on fire. And you want to know why they cared so much? Because 2 months before that ruling landed, a jury hit C.H. Robinson, the biggest broker in the country, with a $604 million verdict. $604 million. Over a 2021 crash that killed 3 people. That number is not a fine. That's a warning shot to every brokerage in America. So now put yourself in the chair of a broker executive. You just watched the largest player in your industry eat a $500 million judgment. The Supreme Court just stripped away your legal armor. Your insurance underwriters are calling you asking what your carrier vetting process looks like. What do? You do exactly what LANDSTAR did. You purge. You cut anybody who looks even slightly risky. Because every carrier you keep on your list is now a potential lawsuit with your company's name on it. And that's the trap. Because risky doesn't just mean the fraudsters. It means the small guy. The one truck operation. The new authority with 6 months of history. The carrier with one unlucky inspection on their record. When the legal exposure gets this brutal, brokers stop asking, is this carrier good? And start asking, can this carrier get me sued? And those are not the same question. Here's what LANDSTAR's own safety officer actually said, and I want you to catch this sleight of hand. He said carriers that fail to operate above board on fraud are often the same ones with questionable safety records. Notice the word often. Not always, often. But when you're building an automated system to cut 40,000 carriers, often becomes always. real fast because no algorithm has time for nuance. You get flagged,
He's
you get
speaking
gone.
facts, I guess,
There
y'all.
is no appeal. There is no phone call. You just log in one day and the loads aren't there anymore. And this is where I get genuinely angry on behalf of the small operator. Because the people getting swept up in this are overwhelmingly not criminals. Overdrive ran a survey on this exact vetting explosion. 69% of owner operators had run through truck stops RMIS system, 61% through highway, and the majority said the sheer proliferation of vetting was hurting them. Legitimate businesses buried under identity checks, document demands, and compliance hoops designed to catch the one bad actor in a thousand. The scammer already knows how to fake all of it. It's the honest small carrier who doesn't have a compliance department, who's driving the truck and doing the paperwork at 11 p.m. who actually gets caught in the end.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about that part that connects directly to your bottom line, because this is where the squeeze becomes a vice. Insurance. Why don't you invest in tax liens? This is exactly what the wealthiest 1% are doing to. When brokers get more legal exposure, that exposure flows downhill. Underwriters are now looking at broker betting, carrier safety scores, and litigation risk as one connected chain. And the price of being on the wrong end of that chain is going up. If you're a small carrier with a couple of dings on your CSA scores, you're not just losing access to freight networks. You're becoming more expensive to insure at the exact same moment that the carrier is losing access to freight networks. For help, LANDSTAR's own CEO, Frank Longrow, got on that call and asked the federal government to step in and create clear, unified vetting standards. Think about that. The industry spent 30 years fighting to keep brokers unregulated and shielded, and now that the shield's gone, they're running to Washington asking for a rulebook. The Transportation Intermediaries Association actually filed a petition asking FMCSA to publish a public high-risk motor carrier list. A literal government blacklist sounds like safety. In practice, it's a scarlet letter. Because who decides what high risk means? What happens to the owner operator who lands on that list over a paperwork technicality or a bad month? Do they get to defend themselves? Or do they just find out they're radioactive when every broker in America stops answering the phone? We're one rulemaking away from the government building the exact tool that turns a bad quarter into a death sentence for a small trucking business. So let me be crystal clear about what's actually going on here. Cutting through all the corporate language. This is a consolidated event dressed up as a safety initiative. Every one of these forces, the fraud, the Supreme Court ruling, the mega verdicts, the insurance pressure, the push for a federal blacklist, every single one of them points in the same direction. Fewer, bigger carriers, and a whole lot fewer small ones.
Of course.
The freight world is being reshaped to favor the fleet with a compliance team a legal department,
One to five
and a
trucks is
rock-solid
small.
safety record, and to quietly push out the independent operator who built this entire industry. And nobody voted on it. There was no announcement. It's just happening quarter by quarter, purge by purge, algorithm by algorithm. Now, am I saying betting is evil? No. A world where brokers do zero due diligence and put unsafe trucks on the road is a world where people die. 3 people died in the crash behind that C.H. Robinson verdict. That's real, and it matters. The problem isn't that betting exists. The problem is who's paying the price for it. And it is not the fraud rings. They adapt in a week. It's the honest small carrier who eats every bit of their friction, the cost, and the risk while the actual criminals keep operating. So, what do you if you're a small carrier watching all of this? First, your safety record is now your business plan. CSA scores, inspection history, your MCS clean paper trail.
He talking about
That's
LANDSTAR,
not
guys.
compliance
Talking about
paperwork
LANDSTAR
anymore.
shutting down.
That's the thing standing between you and
They
being
cut a lot of
invisible
their
to have the
truckers.
freight in the country. Guard it like it's cash. Second, diversify who you haul for. If one broker network's algorithm can erase you overnight, you cannot afford to have all your loads tied up in one place. Direct shipper relationships have never been more valuable than they are right now. Third, watch this federal rulemaking fight like your livelihood depends on it. Because it might. The difference between a fair national standard and a government blacklist is going to be decided in the fine print. And the small carrier voice needs to be in that room. Because here's the bottom line, and I'll leave you with it. 40,000 carriers did not disappear because 40,000 carriers were crooks. They disappeared because the risk math changed, and the small operator is always the easiest number to cut. Landstar told us exactly what's coming. The people who actually turn the wheels are paying attention before the next 40,000 are gone. If this hit home, you know what to do because this fight is just getting started.
God.
Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss an update. Your support lets me keep bringing you more content just like this. I'll see you next time.
And start cutting over 40,000 trucks. But I never thought I would see Landstar cut people like that. I didn't anticipate that. Okay. At all. None whatsoever. Okay. And there's a lot of people over there that depend on Landstar. I know some people that have their own authority and they don't oh shit. Say it again, Black Heavyweight, say it again. It did it on its own, baby. Say it again. Say it again, Black Heavyweight. I didn't get a chance to read the question. I barely touched it. There you go. Nice moving. Say it again, Black Heavyweight. That's crazy. Over 40,000 owner ops. And my understanding, that's owner ops and people with their own authority, right? So I think I read on Freightways there's owner ops and people with their own authority as well that just got cut. And this is also just like we saw with Celadon, so we saw with is it NIT? Just like we saw with what's the name? What's that big carriage like UPS? You are, yes, you are. There was no prior warning. So you see, Black Heavyweight, say it again. I know you still watching. Say it again. Okay, hold on. Oh, there you go. Is Landstar shutting down? I hope not. I hope not. That's just one video I watched. I know it's back and forth. We're trying to get it together because I kept trying to make sure y'all can hear it through my speaker. Hopefully, you're able to watch it. The link is up in the chat if you want to go watch the video on your own. You can just click it from down my comment section. But my understanding, here we go again, cutting people off, and without no prior warning. But what I want to ask y'all is, what is a small carrier? Is a small carrier only one truck or five trucks? Or do you think this is all just talking? It's always going to blow over? And it's just kind of certain companies going through certain things. Like, how can Landstar be cutting and you got Russian companies winning? You got guys on Truck Community that are winning. They take home 10, 12,000. You know what I'm saying? In a week. So how is Landstar struggling? Like, how is that happening?
Hey Shay,
Yeah.
hey, I don't mean to interrupt your show or nothing, but before you keep going, I think we might have to do some rereading. They didn't just do
Why?
that. I think they've been doing that since 2022. They just didn't. I don't think they just, out of the blue just cut 40,000 today or yesterday. No, do some homework on that. I don't think Landstar is shutting down. That's what's going on. Because I think I
Hey.
read something earlier. I think they said over the past 4 years, they've released a large percentage of the carriers. I'm
Yeah.
not sure. When I pull over, I'm gonna do some more research. I just didn't want you to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no problem. We just talking about it.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
got a
yeah,
couple.
yeah.
I got a couple of more videos I want to watch. I'm gonna play for y'all today. But I hope not.
Nah, I can't see
Uh,
Landstar shutting down. Nah, we'd have heard something in the
we
mix some
ain't that. I mean,
earlier.
it's just no way possible that land starts cutting that many drop. But it's true because it's on freightways. It's not speculation.
Straightways, do some homework. Do some homework. I'm gonna go do some homework as soon as I pull over, because the internet can be a vicious place. People just put something out, even reputable sites like Freightways. But
Yeah,
when I pull over, I'm gonna do some more homework. But I don't think Landstar is shutting down. I just want to give, that's why I tapped in real quick. I'm here riding with the.
yeah. So, but who do you think is about to suffer more? Only one truck operations, five trucks, or is all just talk? Because Ghost is giving that it's all talk.
No, I didn't. Hello, can you hear me?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
It's getting cut. I think in all sections, everybody gonna get hurt. Small, medium, large. The company is just downsizing, and they've been downsizing for a while now. That's what I read a while ago. But I don't want to keep talking on something I'm not 100% sure. So, as soon as I pull over, I'm going to do some research on it. But I think it's just a large downside. They've been downsizing. But I'm going to tap back in a few. I got a call coming in.
All right. All right.
You
All
have a
right.
good
Thank
day,
you,
all right?
Ghost.
All
Gotcha.
right. You be
Thank
safe
we
out
gonna
there.
be up for a while. We're gonna be live for a while today. I was stuck on the 34.
Okay. I'll tap back
Yeah.
in, and I'm going to do some research
Yeah.
before I tap back in, though.
Yeah. 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 Do that.
All right. You
Yeah.
be safe out there.
All right.
All right. Peace.
Okay. Shout out to Ghost. Ghost Town Boys. He has his own channel. Black Heavyweight does too. Down at the bottom here. Um, I am. I am hoping. Uh, that's not the precipice that we are on. You know. Uh. Okay. I guess it was gonna keep it like that. But I hope that's not what we're talking about here. I hope that a lot of you guys are able to keep. But I am concerned about the people that just got on uh, at Landstar, only being at Landstar. for a year. Those are the people that I feel right now are at risk. You have to forgive my commercials and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And this video just leaked about 8-9 hours ago, but it just not popped up a couple hours ago. Uh, okay, we got another one we're gonna play right now. It's called Mr. USA Transportation. That's what it's called. I'm about to type it in right now. I'm about to type it in right now. And this is for all my LANDSTAR people. This we're gonna show y'all some. Um, we're gonna show y'all some love today. I know it's something different than what I normally do, but hold on, let me set it up so y'all can actually full. Just in case it's static, that's why I got it going through my speaker to where. Hold on, that's why I got it going through my speaker, so y'all can actually. Okay. All right, y'all. Give me a second because I'm trying to set it up to where it plays. Hold on. We got another video. I'm just showing out LANDSTAR today. Hold on. LANDSTAR.
Hello, YouTube world. We are back with another one. And in this video, I'm gonna tell you guys what happened.
Got
That we
from
got fired. She already changed the number. We got 855 now because that's our home address, the house number, and no longer with Landstar, man. We got fired. I'll tell you guys now on a driving vlog that I did a little earlier. Just delivered the load, and let's go. Good morning again. And for the ones that don't know me, I am Mark from MR USA Transportation, and we are heading to coastal Chicago, Illinois. And we still have an hour and 2 minutes to get there. And I'm gonna tell you guys what happened to us. We had to leave Landstar about 2 months ago. More exact, April 14th. We got into an accident where my co-driver Renata was driving, and he ended up that she was wrong. You know, accidents happens. It is what it is. And Landstar canceled our contract.
So Landstar
So
canceled his
that
contract.
happened on the 14th, and Landstar called us on the 17th or 18th, like 4 days after the accident. We were already home, you know, we opened up a claim with insurance to fix the truck. And so this is what happened. We got into an accident. We went home with the truck all crashed on the driver's side. It was like a T collision. You know, she was in an intersection, and this car just came like this, and she went forward. The car hit here. hazmat, and all the crap that you need to get loads anywhere. So we, just went to another company. We'll reveal to you guys what company it is later, maybe in another video. But this video purpose is to tell you guys why we disappeared for a couple months. We were trying to resolve the truck problem, and then in another video, it's gonna be about fixing the truck that took a month and a half because the shop I took the truck to hold the truck hostage and trying to take more money from the insurance and more money from me, so it was a mess. Not only we got fired, but the body shop tried to extort us, taking more money and causing more problems to the truck than we had it before I dropped it off, so you can collect more money for the insurance. And it's a suit going on, and it's like a big mess. But thank God we had a friend of ours that got into this company that we are right now, and he guys were also with his wife, and they recommended to us, and here we are in the first week in this company. So we started it last Thursday. Today is Tuesday right now.
Comments say.
So it's not even a week that we're here, so I don't even know how much you're gonna make. All I know is they're taking 15% instead of 35. That's a positive. And another thing, we got our own plate now at LANDSTAR. We used their plates. So now we got our own plate, our own bottom insurance, and our own premium insurance. And then we use the company's cargo insurance and the company's trailer. And that's it, basically. So then, now we're going to see what's going to happen, guys. I don't know. I'm going to start making videos again because now I can actually record the load. I couldn't do that at Google account. They couldn't break your contract.
So it's
you
going to
record anything inside the trailer.
bankrupt you.
And most of the time was a drop and hook. I would get there and the trailer's already loaded with the seal and everything, so you can't even know what's inside. And whenever there's no seal inside, you move forward to close the door, and the security will come, to see you closing the door, and then he put the seal, or her, or whatever. So they will put the seal on it right there on the spot, so you couldn't even see anything, And the reason why I think it's nice to see what people take, like last load, we got at the Cummins plant. So we had a 2 Cummins engine that we took it from North Carolina to San Antonio, Texas.
I thought LANDSTAR was a dream company.
Nice load, it's been a while. After I got to the Google account, I never got any other load. It was all Google, data center to data center. We weren't so used to it, and it was nothing to show. So the content got kind of died. We did that. That's it. So, but we were making a good amount of money. So for us, it was more important to get our bill paid than make videos for YouTube. So, and now that we're back on the road after 2 months home, we got to this company that, it seems to be too perfect to be true. So let's see what's going to happen. The owner of the company is really, really nice. The dispatcher is really cool. They try to help you, And also they get paid percentage. So it's on their interest to get the load as high as possible. So, so they can get paid more too. When we went to the orientation, Anthony is the guy that does the orientation, really cool guy, exchange phone numbers or whatever. So the whole company thing is really cool so far. And we're only here for a week, so we can't talk too much, but it's been amazing. The loads are really good. It's around $3 a mile.
Yeah, that's
and also all team loads where you can get got it yesterday in Austin, Texas. And we're delivering today
Hold on, y'all.
in Illinois. So it's like
You got the engine running and running too much. We're gonna get another one popping. What? Y'all speaking negative on LANDSTAR? Okay, here goes another one, y'all. This way.
Good morning, you beautiful bunch of fuckers. Welcome to my world. I'm your host, Kevin Rutherford. It's Monday, August 10th. It's time for some industry insights. Joining me today, the Director of Broker Sales from TruckStop.com. Coming back with us is John Holland. John, good morning.
Good morning. How we doing, Kevin?
Good. Great to have you back. Where are you in the world today?
I am actually in Phoenix, Arizona. So this is kind of my home base here. They let me work from home in Truck Stop, which is nice.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It's wonderful. So I would say that there's a lot going on in the broker world today, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah. Yep. Fun time to be a broker for sure.
Yeah, several things. I'm 40 years in the industry. I can't remember a time where looking forward, I'm clueless to where we're going to be in just 5 years. I can't even imagine what it might look like in 10.
I totally agree with you, Kevin. It is definitely, with the new rules, regulations, with everything happening with the carriers and, just everything happening. I agree. It's a very interesting time and kind of a transition in the lens of the brokerage for sure, in terms of, especially if you're new and you're starting, right? It's a unique time to be coming into the industry.
Yeah. If you think about it, we have a lot going on in the industry. We'll talk about several of these factors, with fuel prices as crazy as they are, with the Supreme Court case around brokers. There really is a lot going on. But also, let's not forget what AI and autonomous vehicles will do in the next 5 or 10 years, which is also something we can't stick our head in the sand and say, oh, it's not going to happen to us. It's already happening, and it is going to happen. And that whole discussion has changed. I'm thinking back to like 2018. There was a year we were really talking a lot about autonomous and electric trucks. And the argument then was, well, that truck can't possibly do what I do. And I used to try to warn people, don't make that argument, because what are you going to do when the truck does exactly what you can do and does it better and doesn't really fail at it? So don't use that as your argument. And I don't know that there is any argument. I see that the Teamsters just sued California over autonomous trucks. How is that going to work? We're just going to stop progress. And I'm not saying this is even a good thing. I'm just saying, let's be realistic. Nothing like this has ever been stopped. We could have stopped the desktop computer and said, oh, no, that's going to put way too many people out of a job.
I mean, I couldn't agree more. I mean, 2018 was, there's a big buzz around autonomy and autonomous trucks. And I mean, shoot, even I would say last year with AI, right? AI was, I feel like, something that was coming into the industry. 99% of us were like, all right, well, I don't know how this is going to affect me. And maybe we're dipping our toes in the water a little bit, but I mean, shoot, Kevin, all these trade shows we go to, there's so many damn AI vendors at these trade shows. Most of them, I mean, I've never even heard of them, right? So
yeah, exactly.
What in the heck? And then now it's, I would say even TIA was the biggest kind of eye-opening for me, where it was like, all right, last year, all of these AI companies are in here. I was kind of, chuckling a little bit, like, what are we doing in here? And now, I feel like those brokerages and even carriers that are going to be the ones that are going to be really thriving in the next 10 years are going to learn how they're going to need to use it in their business, right?
Yeah.
I would say in most cases, I mean, some companies now are like, well, this is real, and they're starting to use it to really streamline some of the friction in their business. And at the end of the day, I'm thinking and hoping that most brokerages, carriers, shippers are going to learn what those friction points are, leverage and utilize AI, and hopefully get back to what they're good at, which is, doubling down on those relationships and the things that really matter in trucking, right?
Yeah, story about that. I went to a brokerage school. I was building trucks at the time. This would have been late '80s, and finding freight was pretty difficult back then. And I decided to go to a little brokerage school I found, and what it turned out to be was a little 2-man brokerage operation, and you were the gopher for the week. That was the school. Yeah, but it was real hands-on on what a freight broker was doing in 1988 or 9, somewhere around there. And I can remember the flight and everything because I actually booked my flight. Now, this is in the 80s, late 80s. I booked my flight online. It was a site called Easy Saber, and it was the system that the travel agents used in the background. We didn't see it, but that was the first time I had booked an airline ticket online, and I thought it was the craziest thing ever. And I was telling the owner of the brokerage, and the guy's still around, by the way, still got a brokerage school, Dave Dwinell. And him and I had a talk about the internet. He said, I'm pretty sure this internet thing will put me out of a job someday. And it made sense to look at, insurance was already moving on their travel already, travel agents and all that. It wasn't even 1990 yet. And the funny thing is, I've been hearing that ever since. But it never happened. The funniest time was when Uber first got into freight, and I would get at least 1 or 2 phone calls and emails a week saying, we need to talk, we're going to be the Uber of freight. And nobody really became the Uber of freight, not even Uber Freight. So the whole industry is fairly new, by the way. I mean, freight brokering hasn't been around all that long in reality, and that was kind of the beginning of it. I remember going to the TIA conference back then, my first year as a broker. But here we are today, and I've made the statement, if any technology would be capable of putting some freight brokers out of business, it would be AI. And nothing else has really put a dent in it. There was all kinds of load boards that swore their load board was somehow different, and they were going to eliminate the broker out of the transaction, and nobody's really figured out how to do that.
Yeah, but again, I feel like, shippers, especially shippers, are going to stay somewhat legacy for the most part. At least that's what I think. And I still feel like even with a fully, let's just say, AI brokerage out there, losing that human touch and that realistic boot on the ground, brokers going into a shipper, smiling, throwing some swag and buying lunch, I think still that is so key and crucial. It will win at the end of the day, in my opinion, anyways. But yeah, I mean, shoot, we'll see what a crazy time to be a brokerage.
It is, or to be in the industry. And I've told people that I think the winners in this are not going to be the ones who figure out how to replace people with AI. It's going to be the people who learn how to use AI really well that will become very valuable to their customers.
Yep. Yeah, a lot of obvious retention is around, people that are upset in their jobs are leaving because they don't like their internal processes. There's a lot of friction with building orders and everything they have to do within their systems and technology. those brokerages that figure out, like you said, how to leverage and utilize AI to eliminate that friction and keep those agents out there hunting and smiling and happy and make their jobs easier, so that again at the end of the day they can focus on really kind of doubling down on that relationship and those sorts of things with their shippers and carriers. I think those are going to be the winners.
Yeah, one of the other thoughts I had was a lot of uses for AI in other industries. I've been kind of studying it everywhere I can. Has kind of been to create even more like dynamic pricing. Like Airbnb properties, there's software on the market now that you load all your Airbnb properties in and it scans the market constantly and dynamically prices your properties. You may have a different price on your property every night of the week because AI is scanning the market, supply and demand, and matching all that up. So I just wonder if that were to happen in freight, if we were to get, a lot of this almost dynamic pricing by AI in the background. At first, I kind of hate the thought of that. But the more I think about it and looking at my market, I've said that the small carriers, and that's really my market, they're at a huge disadvantage when it comes to negotiations in so many ways. They don't have the data. They don't have the time. The freight broker's looking at a screen all day long. He knows what rates are. He negotiates all day long. That's what their strengths are. I even went as far as to kind of personality profile what makes a good broker, which is basically sales. And then when you look at truck drivers who choose to spend days or weeks at a time alone in a cab, two totally different personalities. So even when it comes down to personality, the driver owner operator tends to have a disadvantage. So in reality, some sort of transparent pricing model working in the background may benefit the small carrier more than anybody. Let them do what they do and not worry about negotiation and pricing and all of this.
I have totally said that same thing for years now, even especially when it comes to dynamic pricing. I mean, at truck stop, we used to do a lot with the Book It Now feature, 5-6 years ago, and a lot that we're doing today with AI around pricing. And I always tell, even my sales team, I always tell them this because we sell into the brokerage world. I think what a lot of people forget are brokers at the end of the day, they're professional negotiators, right?
Yes.
Carriers have no advantage when they go and talk to a broker about a rate because that's what those guys do all day long. And bringing in that transparency around really what the rate is, what it should be, it takes a lot of the, I would say, fun out of it, first off for the brokerages, but also I feel like also that, carriers have transparency. That's a dream world for them, to go in and know what the broker's going to ask without, getting beat up and those sorts of things, right?
Yeah, for years I've said, look, you got to go out and find, maybe a handful of good brokers, 3 to 5, build a good relationship with them, stick with them. It's really the best model. And what gets in the way of that a lot of times is just all the negotiation. I mean, we even started encouraging them, go talk to your broker, go take them to lunch, or at the very least, pick up the phone when there's no freight to be moved. Just call and build a relationship. Talk about your business model and what kind of freight you want. And if we had this AI really doing the dynamic pricing, that just takes away that. And again, it's really to the advantage of the small carrier because they can now just focus on the relationship and take away all the stress of the rate.
Yeah, I would say too, right now as the carrier and those carriers listening, with the rates being the way that they are and the market being the way that it is, and truly in the advantage of a carrier for sure right now, I would say some advice is just like you said, pick up the phone
call one of your brokerage customers that are really kind of, they're starving for help right now to get freight moved. And you know what? Scratch their back. Help them out.
Yeah.
Maybe don't gouge them in the ways that potentially other carriers are, because Kevin, the market's going to flip.
Yes, it always does. That's exactly right.
And if you take care of your brokerage now and your shippers now that you're working with, and then when it flips, hopefully they return the favor, and then so that's truly the way that you can double down and really kind of have that value add relationship with those customers, so that again make it long lasting, fruitful for years and years to come, because the market's not always like this, and it will flip, and when it does, hopefully we're positioned to take advantage of it.
Yeah, so we can jump to our next topic right now, and it fits right into that build the relationship now. And I've been saying it for several decades, long before any of this changed, but it just becomes more important in this environment. I just read this morning, LANDSTAR cut 40,000 carriers off their list. 40,000.
And wowzers, did they cut them because of
safety
regulations, like they weren't meeting safety? Okay, yeah. And all of them were cut because of safety reasons, or was it a little more dynamic than that, with them just truly kind of trimming down and going more to their bigger carriers, or any idea?
They don't really give any criteria. Questions directed to LANDSTAR's communication personnel about specific vetting standards and use of third-party carrier vetting systems went unanswered. So it doesn't sound like LANDSTAR is giving up too many details. My guess is it's a little of both. At some point they had over 100,000 carriers. So that's a lot. That's a lot of carriers to manage, and some of it probably is just cleaning up that list. My guess is, though, it would not have happened right now without the Supreme Court. I think that was what spurred them to go get this done.
Yeah, agreed. And I wonder too. I mean, LANDSTAR's been using, onboarding and carrier compliance tools for years, right?
Long time, yeah.
7, 8, 9 years. And so if you could imagine their Rolodex, half of, I would say of that 40,000, I bet you 10,000 of those carriers aren't even in business anymore, right? So
right.
It could be just a cleaning up systems, and who knows, but that's very, very interesting for sure.
Yeah. C.H. Robinson did the same thing. And like I said, some of it's cleanup, some of it's pure safety. And here's, I'm sure you are hearing this all day long. We still don't know what the vetting standard is.
All day long, yes. It is interesting, Kevin, because people, at least they had trust us, the tools that we have, we make it very obvious and apparent that those rules that are set within the compliance realm are completely up to the brokerage. Best practices come from, FMCSA notice and other places, and we do not take any liability around, here's what we say is going to keep you out of trouble by using these carriers, because, like you said, I also, in that same vein, I haven't seen or heard about anything from a legal perspective because of the Montgomery rule or anything like that. I haven't heard about any of the, I would say, small to medium-sized brokerages that have yet to see anything come up in litigation. I could be wrong, maybe I'm not paying attention, but so we'll see, even with the Montgomery rule, like how much the government's going to really go after those brokerages. I didn't know if it was just maybe for the big guys or what, but again, kind of to be determined with all of that.
Yeah, I've got a couple lawyers I've talked with about this. one of the things, certainly they're going to go after the biggest players first. That just makes sense. They're going after the deep pockets. And this is all going to be driven by trial lawyers, because that's the only real winner out of all this are the trial lawyers. But I think you'll see a lot of this because this really isn't the government. This is the ruling basically just said, look, there's nothing in our law that would stop you from naming a carrier in a state lawsuit. There was some weird FAA rule that sort of did that, but the Supreme Court said, no, that doesn't apply here. So it's really just saying, well, you can sue them. And that's what trial lawyers do. They go after, the deepest pockets and the most people they can name if they're going to have a suit. So it seems like we are going to have suits. The problem is nobody knows what due diligence is. Nobody knows what they could do to say, okay, I'm covered. The latest ruling where they determined that the driver, who was so far removed from C.H. Robinson in this case, the court actually ruled that he was a borrowed employee. I've never even heard that term. But that's how they ruled on this one. That C.H. Robinson exerted control over the driver, and therefore the driver was a borrowed employee of C.H. Robinson.
A borrowed employee.
See,
A borrowed employee.
I wonder too. Now, if it's like, all right, well, brokerages, let's update our carrier broker agreement to now try and avoid that. Yeah, that's bonkers. I mean,
it sure is.
Well, I mean, again, it's a lot of unknowns right now, especially in that area. And I mean, I think the timing as well, with the cold notice thing coming online and FMCSA, that whole thing, the timing of that doesn't help the whole man.
Well, in reality, the way the system is set up, the FMCSA should be a huge part of the vetting process. But they're not. And they can't be, because they have no vetting of their own. Their whole system is a mess. But that's really where this needs to start, is at that level, and I don't think we'll ever get to that level. Here's part of the problem. Even our data is far worse than I thought it was. I have this belief that the safest, most efficient way to move freight from point A to point B is a small broker and a single truck owner-operator. More skin in the game. I've just always thought that's the safest and most efficient model. Except, there is no data you could use to prove that. It doesn't exist.
Yeah, and it's not scalable either.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah.
How do we not have
that
data?
It is so interesting.
How do we not have this data where we could go look at the system and say, here are the safest models we have? Yeah. I know, it's all, it's interesting. Yeah, doesn't sound like that is going to change anytime soon. What one final question, John, before I let you go? What's the most surprising thing you've seen from AI so far?
So in the industry, so here's something that I think is really interesting and very cool, and something that I think you probably caught wind of it in terms of what we're building over here at TrustStop. But about a month ago, we released a new product called Ava. Ava is an AI agent. Any driver that has that TrustStop app can say, "Hey, Ava," and they can start talking with it. And when it's on their dash, and they can say, "Hey, I'm headed to I'm headed to Salt Lake City. Find me a load from Salt Lake. I want to go home to, St. Louis, Missouri, with a flatbed. My rates and blah blah blah. Like, tell me the best thing was. And so Ava will obviously through AI, it'll go through, it'll do everything. And what's interesting is you can have Ava then reach out to that brokerage or get contact information for that brokerage to then reach out to them. But in the very near term, what I feel like is going to happen is Ava is going to be designed to then, and again, I'm speculating here, but reach out to that brokerage. And if you can imagine a brokerage who implements AI as well for inbound calls, having Ava negotiate with an AI bot on the brokerage side to figure out what a good rate is, and then ultimately kind of have the AI bots going back and forth negotiating on behalf of the brokers and the carriers. Going to be very, very interesting here. I see that coming before the end of the year, right? So it's going to be very interesting.
The whole thing is I've been heavily involved in AI. My listeners get tired of me when I talk about it. I told them to get over it because I'm not going to stop talking about it. It's hard to imagine where we might be even in 5 years now. AI has accelerated everything. AI is accelerating itself because of AI. Software is making itself better now. And some of the crazy abilities, I do a lot of vibe coding. And I was blown away a year and a half ago by what AI was capable of in coding. Now, and I worried back then because I was building these big, complicated software packages, and I have no idea what's going on in the background. None. I know nothing about coding, but I learned how to vibe code, and I was getting really good at it. Like, I can build anything. If you have a software idea, just let me know. I'll build it. But I got thinking, what if I'm just writing all this garbage code and I don't even know it? And in the beginning, when you're vibe coding, the system will ask you, should I do this or this or this? And pretty quickly I started saying, don't ask me. I don't know. If you think it should be done, just do it. I gave AI total control. What choice would I have? I don't understand what you're doing. Why are you asking me to make a decision? So, that's awesome. It's gotten so powerful now in such a short period of time that and I read from several software engineers who in the beginning said this isn't going to be a thing. It writes too much slop. Many of those software engineers are now saying, why would I ever write another line of code? Because AI writes really good code. And why wouldn't it? Why would we think it would write bad code? We could either teach it how to write good code, or we could teach it how to write bad code. But we know how to write good code. There's no reason AI can't do it. And here we are. Now even software engineers are saying, no, it's really good code.
Are you ready to build your dream home on your property? Leland's Modular is here to help. We can customize your perfect home and deliver it in 12 to 18 weeks. Call today.
Oh. Yeah, and I would say for your listeners out there, I would say I'm starting to get out of this boat, but I was in the boat of like, oh my gosh, I don't know how to handle this. This is way over my head. Like, a little terrified by even dabbling in it.
Yeah.
What I would say for any of you guys that are interested, or I would highly advise that you guys start dabbling a little bit just to get familiarized with it. As long as when you're leveraging, utilizing AI, if you give it a persona, like, hey, you're a private investigator, I want you to look into this, and this in my business and tell me where I can get better. And then when it comes back, just ask it. Just say, you know what, I'm not sure. How would you handle it?
Exactly. Keep asking.
Watch what it comes up with.
Just keep asking it. That's how I learned how to vibe code. Because in vibe coding, I would come across something, it would say, well, you need to put the API key here in the GitHub. But I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about. And then I'd have to say, how about you do that? That was my first go-to. How about you do that? And I would keep saying that until it would do it or say, I absolutely can't. And then I would say, give me step-by-step on how to do this like I'm a third grader, and it would. And after a while, you start figuring out some of the tougher challenges. So I think it's going to be a pretty wild ride. I'm looking forward to it. I think for the most part, a lot of these technologies, if used right, really favor the small carriers. I think as a small business now, you can operate like a large business. It's almost like AI brought us something that they don't have any more access to AI than I do. As the smallest business, we have these incredibly powerful tools, and I think it helps us much more.
Yep, totally agree. It's like having an assistant right next to you that is actually a lot smarter than you, that can get data and pull data together and do things a lot better than you. But it doesn't. You just have to. You have to leverage. It's so scary, unbelievable.
It is. I want to leave people with one more thing, and you've already touched on this, and Truck Stop is already ahead of the game on this. Not only should you be learning AI, and don't be afraid of it, just tell it whatever, ask it whatever, just get comfortable with it. But here's something else I would tell people to get comfortable with. Because this is coming, and this is the technology that's really going to drive this. And I struggle with this. I think a lot of people do. Get used to talking to your devices, not typing.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's going to change.
Yep.
That's finally going to change after 50 or 60 years with keyboards. We are going to start talking to our devices. It's far more efficient.
Yep, far more efficient, for sure. And again, the more that you talk and the more that you engage, the smarter your AI gets, and the better off you are in the long run. So,
absolutely,
whenever you get a chance, there's an opportunity, just try it. If you're a driver and you're sitting, on break at a truck stop, just get something, look at it, and just start asking it dynamic questions. And gauge around your business. Start connecting it into your business softwares and technologies, and watch what happens. It is unbelievable.
For example, I'm assuming this because I haven't studied this part of your system yet, but I'm assuming I would even be able to have conversations like, my top criteria right now is lowest deadhead possible to the next load. Is that something I could say and that would become part of the search?
Oh, 1,000%. You can even tell it, like, how much fuel you have, route me, based upon what's super important is your fuel cost. I need to stop and get fuel. Like, what is a recommended route here? And it'll route you to those fuel stations that have the cheapest fuel. It's connected in with Hutto's company and a lot of other places to where if you need to park overnight, it'll route you so that, again, you don't run out of hours. Where you need to go park and take your breaks, and it's pretty incredible.
So here's what I would encourage, and I do encourage this all the time. I'll do it again. You talked about AI being, the best assistant you could possibly have. Really smart, really fast, really efficient. You could, as a one-person business, as a single-person business owner, you can build an entire back office with AI or an executive suite. I have an executive suite I built through AI for our company. And we have meetings, and the executive suite discusses this stuff. A small business now, being a one-person business, you have the most incredible tool available ever.
Yeah, put that you own, that you...
Yes.
What?
Completely agree.
All right, John, appreciate it. Enjoyed having you on. We'll do it again.
Who told you something like that?
Of course, Kevin. Thank you. Yeah, you got to come on the Truck Stop podcast, Behind the Freight again. We miss you. We'll get you re-engaged.
Love to. Just let me know.
All right.
All right.
Well, you guys, keep crushing.
Will do. All right. We'll talk soon. All right. It is a free-for-all phone line.
All right, y'all. Hold on. We're going to find some more on here. My LANDSTAR. Okay. We got another one here. What you think? We should be watch Zell Dog Trucking. Let's see.
What's up? What's up? What's up? This your boy Zeke Dog, and I'm back with another video. Man, so people keep asking me, man, hey, Zeke Dog, man, hey, man. I said, say, man, what's up, man? They say, hey, man, say, man, any money over there, Landstar?
LANDSTAR.
The Star? You asking me, is any money over here, Landstar? Hey, man, say, man, we not doing that bad over here, Landstar. I'm gonna say that we ain't doing too shabby over here, Landstar. Um, but before I get to talking about that, man, you know what time it is. If you need a truck, go on that Alone Mountain, man. Check out their website. It changes all the time. I be telling the people about a truck, and the truck ain't there no more. People have bought all of them. So you gotta go there, and because every week or two you got something different. Go there, check out their website, look at their current inventory. You gonna see the down payments and the monthly payments.
Oh Lord.
That way you can find your next truck.
Oh Lord. I like his editing now. Your editing on point, Zell Dog. Alright, got the 360 drone. Good. Go ahead.
All right, man.
Like the editing, boy.
Let's get to the nitty gritty. So everybody ain't as familiar with Landstar. So let me break this down. Most people that come over to Landstar, they run a drive-in. I want to say drive-in is their biggest division. And you gonna make money with drive-in. You got a lot of dropper hooks, man. The dropper hooks be winning because you could literally book your whole week out and don't have to sit and wait for no load. All of them could be dropper hooks. Bam, 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 bam. You know where you going. You know where you picking up from, and you can even route yourself back home within a week. Now, I say drop a hook. The drive-in division, they get 65% of what the line haul pays. So now understand this, man. I'm gonna give y'all simple numbers on this. So if the line haul shows 3,000, well, no, the regular the load paying 3,000, right? All in 3,000. The line haul may be 26 of it. So 4,400. Hey, it's been a long day. So 400 of it, 400 will go to what they call like accessorials, like fuel, tires, just round up, say 1,700. Uh, plus the 400 on top of that. You're looking at 2,100. That's yours. Now of that, you still gotta pull the fuel off. So if you burning more fuel, you ain't gonna make as much money. But if you get you one of them new T680s or Volvo from Long Mountain, you gonna get better fuel economy. I mean, hey, the truth is the truth, man. You know,
Let that man talk, dear.
newer trucks have been getting better fuel mileage. Automatics, whether people want to believe it or not, get better fuel mileage. That's why the bigger companies decided they wanted to go. That's one of the reasons that they wanted to go with automatic and automated trucks. Man, so that percentage does change from 65 to 72 on the dry vans. But that's only if you buy your own trailer. If you buy your own dry van, now you can get 72% of the load. So instead of walking away with about 21, if it was 26 times 0.72, now you're looking at 1872 plus 400 in fuel. Now you're looking at 2270. It adds up after a while, but you know, every little percent counts. So let's just say it's 150 more per load and you run 5 loads a week, right? Let's just say it's $150 more to a load times 5 loads a week. That's $750 more. It adds up. So, but you lose out on the driving hooks. All your loads gonna be live load if you got your own truck, trailer connected to your truck. So man, now let's talk about my side of the field, the flatbed, the step deck, the platform. All right, so we rent our trailers, and rent for the trailers like $200 a week. I got last year I had a brand new trailer, 2025 or 6 last year. It was brand new, like somebody had only put about 20,000 miles on it. Like it was super new. Because we're renting the trailer, we get 73%. One more percentage. We get 73%. So I booked me a load paying $3,500. One day quick run. Of the 3,500, let's just say 500 was for fuel. So now that leaves me 3,000 for the line haul. No, let's do it even more. 500 for fuel, 200 for tarping. So that leaves 28 on the line haul times 0.73. So now that's $2,044. But then you got to add in 200 for tarping plus the 500 for fuel. Now that $3,500 load lets you walk away with $2,744 for the load. Minus your fuel. Hey, these are numbers. I'm telling you, this is your number. Then you still gotta minus the fuel off. So this just kind of lets you know where you at, how much fuel you need to put in your truck, and go from there. But let's talk about these rates right now, man. With Walmart Summer Style, you can leave quite an impression. If you notice, since I've been over here at LANDSTAR, I really ain't talked about the money. Now, a year ago, I told y'all he lost his mind. But today, oh, today, I tell you, hey man, he ain't lying to you. He not lying. Now, I know LANDSTAR don't want us to show like the actual posting of the loads. So I'm not gonna show y'all any actual posting of no loads. But what I can tell y'all is this. It's at this point in time right now, it's it's rolling on to August right now, 2026. I heard a dang near made as much money as I made the entire year of 2025 at this point right here. Dang near. See, dog, what does that mean? You ain't telling us nothing. I need y'all to open up y'all ears and listen to me. We eating good over here at LANDSTAR. But this ain't the only place that's eating good. I think the whole trucking economy is eating good right now. Why? But they just laid off. We getting a lot of people that don't supposed to be driving in America out of these trucks. We are, as Americans, are cracking down on people that not supposed to be legally driving. If you're doing something illegal, you're not supposed to. Hey, it's the difference between skating the line and breaking the line. So, yeah, man, that's one of the biggest things that is helping out this trucking industry right now. Anyone that doesn't have legal permission to drive this freight, you documented U.S. citizens, we're able to do this. And you got U.S. citizens, some U.S. citizens can't even do it. Why? Hey, they got bad records, DUIs and stuff like that. You got people come from countries, they could have had 30 DUIs in their country, but you will never know. Because their name on the license say John Doe or unknown or no name given. How you know this man ain't got 30 DUIs in his country? That's being cracked down on. Second thing that's helping is the economy is doing real good. Economy doing real good. Now, the reason the economy may be doing real good is it's a lot of explosions going on overseas in the Midwest. A lot of stuff going, chitty chitty bang bang, boom boom boom. And what's happening is all these manufacturers that make our weapons, make our equipment, make our resources that the government needs, transportation, all of that. All these companies that's doing this for us, they're getting orders and saying, hey man, we need to replenish this. So now that company has to call the steel mill and say, hey, yeah, I know I ain't placed the order in a while, but I need 100 truckloads of this kind of steel. Well, sir, we already got people in front of you. I'm going to pay what it weighs. Hey, it's on the way. It is on the way. See, y'all ain't realizing what's going on. Our country does pretty good during times of war. Especially if you work for yourself. Woo, man, hey. Listen, it does, I do worry a little bit because I don't know how far old boys gonna take it some days. But as of right now, man, hey, somebody stopped me the other day at the gas station. They said a Zeke dog. I said a root. He said, Zeke dog, man, I'm thinking about coming over there to LANDSTAR, man. Wait, man, what that money look like, man? Tell me what that money look like. I said, boy, the money, hey, this what I be feeling like. I just told my partner this the other day. I said, this is what I be feeling like. I feel like I'm one of those guys that be out on the corner that be slide folks on packages and then they get the money, and then they go back and they put it in the money counter and they count it up, and then they go buy all the gold rings and the gold chains and everything, and drive around in the big body Benz. Hey, that's what I feel like right now, but a legal one. I feel like a legal dealer. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. I'm like, this is why I got in the truck. This moment in time, right here, right now, is why I got in the truck. I've been trucking for 4 years, and I ain't seen the money like this. Now I understand, like, the market has always did like this, and during 2001, y'all know what happened. The market did like this, up and away, and it stayed up here for a minute, up to 2001, and everybody riding up on the wave. And then 2022 hit, and that baby said, oh, and it was like, this is what we was saying. Then it said, oh, it's going down some more. And folks said, what happened to all the money? I just bought this new truck. Not only did I buy this new truck, I bought 5 of them. And you stretched yourself too far. You done went out of business, fella. So, when the market hit way down here, it crashed in 2022 when I started trucking. So, man, I've seen the market slowly creep its way back up. And then this year, when I looked at the news and I seen stuff going boom, boom, the market said, I said, oh, we up there, baby. I said, we up there. Miss Zeke Dog said, baby, you coming home? I said, no. hey, I ain't gonna even lie. Bro, let me tell you what I did the other day I was at home. I pulled out my Xbox, blew the dust off of it, knocked all the dust off of it. She said, man, what you doing over there? I said, I'm taking it on the road because I'm going to be in my truck for a minute. I said, I may not want to get out of this truck for a while. I turned the Xbox on, hooked it up, I took off, and it said I had to do updates. It said the last update was in 2023. I ain't played the thing in 3 years. I ain't had time. Hey, I've been on the grind. While you grinding, you gotta grind down. You gotta enjoy the little things in life. And if turning on Xbox is the little things in life that you enjoy, hey man, turn that thing on. You know, some of y'all think that, oh man, Zeke Dog got that new truck, he gotta stay running now. He gotta stay running. Yeah, I don't know if Zeke Dog doing good. Zeke Dog doing good.
Oh, Lord.
Zeke Dog doing good, man. Hey, let me tell you about Zeke Dog. Zeke Dog still taking motorcycle trips. Zeke Dog owns 2 holidays, not just one. Zeke Dog owns about 3 other vehicles, not including the motorcycles, not including this truck. Big Dog doing pretty good. Big Dog take vacations every couple months. Big Dog is enjoying his life. Big Dog ain't worried about. Big Dog ain't worried about no clowns, no trolls, none of that. None of that. Big Dog worried about this money. I'm getting it. That's what I'm getting. I ain't worried about nobody that's hating on Zeke Dog. Because the people that's here been part of my dog team for a long time. A long time. And we still going.
Oh Lord.
All way we going is up. Cause my boy CJ on 32, man. I love watching his channel, man. But yeah, man, so put it like this, man. Put it like this. My best week, my best pay period. My pay period really run from Monday to Monday. Sometimes I can squeeze some in on Tuesday. It just depends. But, the next week check gonna be a little shorter. But hey, you get it in that week, you got it in that week. My best week, and y'all gonna think I'm right. To the truck. Truck lady. Man, y'all gonna think I'm lying, man. Y'all don't, man, I'm telling y'all gonna think I'm lying, man. Y'all gonna think I'm lying. In 1 week, on one pay period, my
Yeah, I
truck
believe
lady,
it.
this purple truck right here, this new purple truck, the truck generated $19,000
In 1 week, you say?
in 1 week.
In 1 week.
Now, some of y'all may say, oh man, $6,000, that ain't nothing. Cool. You do you. I'm gonna stay in my lane. You stay in your lane. I talked to a driver that was on a global gooseneck or on those platforms. I asked him, I said, hey man, what y'all gonna be like? I'm just curious, man. He ain't gotta tell me if you don't want to tell me. And he said, man, he said he got one load that he was scheduled to pick up in this current month and take us from Texas to California. He said, man, that one load paid him $50,000. Come here, boy. $50,000 for one load. Well, I'm in the wrong market. I need to be driving what you driving. Hey, but let me bag that all up. Hey, you know what I just said? Big Dog gonna stay in his money. I'm good with what I'm making. I understand the bigger load, the bigger the risk. You got a lot more stuff that comes along with it. Sometimes you don't even have the right equipment to pull something that big. So you gotta understand where you at. Step that 1, step that 2, step that 3. We call it SD1, SD2, SD3, SD4, SD5, maybe SD6, I don't know. But then you got with the low boy, they got their own numbers. You got to be at certain numbers to get certain loads. So you got to put in the work to get loads that you want. If you're looking for certain loads, you got to put that work in. And you got to be networking with the right people because the loads probably never gonna hit the load board. Somebody probably always calling you for that load. So man, you got to understand where is them. Can you make money at LANDSTAR? Man, heck yeah, you can make money over here at LANDSTAR. But you can also make money at other places. show y'all something. Out here, sometimes. This is what I want to show y'all. I'm eating good over here, baby. I'm eating this LANDSTAR. This LANDSTAR, baby. Hold on, let me warm it up. Hey, y'all know these honey buns hit different when you warm it up. Let me warm this baby up. Let me warm this up, because right now it's warm. It's hot. It's heated. It's good, man. I'm 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 happy. I'm happy with life. I'm happy with trucking. I'm happy with LANDSTAR. Everybody ain't there yet. Everybody ain't there yet. But it's possible.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on. I will say this now. This video, let me look at it. Let me see it. He's saying a lot of good stuff now. We showing up a LANDSTAR today. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Okay. This video was literally 11 days ago. Okay. This is XZEKE Dog Trucking. Okay. I'm going to try to leave some of this stuff in the description bar. Okay. But this is that my LANDSTAR. That's the title of the video. This video is 11 days old. It already has over 3,000 views. But LANDSTAR just cut over 40,000 of their owner operators and on carriers off. Okay, see when he's saying this, so you know we have to take it. I mean, yeah, I'm doing this for my LANDSTAR riders. I know there are a lot of you that are at LANDSTAR right now, uh, thugging it out and doing the best you can to make it. You know, let me see. Well, I'm trying to find another one on here that's on LANDSTAR. Yeah, hold on. We gonna move on from him, but he's 11 days old, so you have to take in um, what he says. With a grain of salt. Now, when he said he made 19,000 in 1 week, um, hey, you know, I'm trying to find a lot of stuff's popping up right now. Hold on. It's like, but I feel for you fellas, like for real, like when these trucking companies, especially big companies like LANDSTAR, because they touch everything over the heavy haul. The only thing that LANDSTAR don't touch is like oil field. They touch box truck, dually, hot shot, van, oversized, flatbed, step deck. Um, you know, of course, like the Zell Dog Man said, they touch a lot of dry van freight. So let's see. Let me try to find one. We're gonna play one more. I'm gonna leave it alone. Child the mother trucker his is 3 months ago. We're trying to find all the ones that's kind of on the recent side. I'm getting crushed. Okay, we got one. He doesn't say that it's LANDSTAR, but we're gonna play him in a minute. Let's see. Yeah, with the first one, I was like, "What? You cannot be kidding me." The LANDSTAR was, like I said, one of my top three places. You know what I'm saying? So that's crazy. But shout out to y'all. I know that is a devastating thing, especially for people that's been there for some years. I know a lot of people that got cut just got there, but I'm pretty sure that 40,000. I know Roadrunner Nina, she's there. I don't think she's posting nothing. Shout out to Roadrunner Nina. We don't know what's going on with her yet. I don't think she's posting anything. At least hasn't dinged me. Okay. Okay. Hills Truckers Tammy. Okay. LANDSTAR versus Stock Market. Okay. We're gonna go and play this guy right here up. I'm gonna play this guy here. And we're just gonna see what happens. I think he about to go on the LANDSTAR. Because this title says 35 truckers just got told the economy does not need them. So that's what we're gonna play. Ouch. Ooh. They gotta forgive me. I got pain in my right leg.
Friends, how are you? It is absolutely fantastic to see you for yet another video, and I hope you're all doing well out there because we've got more carnage, chaos, and destruction going on in the United States right now, and boy, do we have a lot to talk about what's going on over here. So basically what I want to talk to you about is the downfall of the trucking industry in the United States continues to happen right in front of us. And of course, that's going to be a problem in a crumbling economy that's just also falling apart right in front of us. We continue to see more and more things happen and more things go wrong for the American working class. Right now. And today we've got a big one, my friends, as 35,000 carriers. You might notice that the title says truckers or truck drivers, because I didn't know how to put the title into terms excuse me, that people outside of the trucking industry would immediately understand. So I put 35,000 truckers basically just ended up out on their ass. But the fact of the matter is, it's 35,000 carriers that just went under overnight right in front of us. And it's an interesting thing because that makes it a minimum of 35,000 drivers that have lost their jobs, up to basically an infinite amount of truckers that just lost their jobs. So my friends, we've got to talk about what's going on, excuse me, as one of the largest owner-operator trucking companies and one of the largest brokerages, freight brokerages in our country, just announced that they have cut off 35,000 different carriers from using their program and being able to move their freight around the country. And this is a very, very interesting thing, my friends. But what I want you to know, and I hope you're sitting down for this, where there are massive crackdowns on what they're calling a safety crackdown in the trucking industry right now, where they have went after non-domiciled CDLs and have tried to cancel them. They have implemented a roadside check for an English language proficiency to make sure that truck drivers all over the country are proficient in the English language. And mind you that sometimes that English language proficiency test might be administered from some cousin fucker down in Arkansas who also wouldn't pass an English proficiency test, because have you ever heard a cousin fucker try to speak? It's horrible. It's absolutely horrifying to try to listen to. And there has been a massive attack overall on the immigrant truck driver in America, right? And I have told you guys that this is obviously has very deep-rooted racism in it, and anybody being brown while driving a truck right now is under a lot of scrutiny. Yeah. And what you need to understand about this is when you listen to the Trump administration speak and they say things are about safety, do you honestly believe them? The regime right now that is invading other countries, that for God's sakes has just shown up in Greenland. That's a big story if you guys haven't been following that. Shown up in Greenland with like an oil drilling company and just said, "Hey, we're drilling your fucking oil. What are you going to do about it?" The regime that has started illegal wars and is getting soldiers killed in Iran right now. The regime that is marching the ICE Gestapo through the streets of the United States, gunning down American citizens. What they want you to know is that they're incredibly concerned with safety of the American citizens, and that is why they have turned their target on the trucking industry to make it a much safer place. But my friends, by the time we get to the end of this video, what we're actually going to find out is that this has very little to do with safety, but everything in the world with crushing the little guy out here, the small independent owner operator, the small trucking company with 50 or less trucks or what have you, and consolidating all of that power to the massive, what we call mega carriers out here that have infinite resources and money, and who are very, very effectively right now cornering the trucking market and wiping out the small business owner in huge, huge fucking numbers. Excuse me, right in front of us, my friend. It's quite the shit show that we have going on, and we've got to talk about it today. So, before I do that, I want to take just a minute to thank you guys for everything you do to support the channel. As a small owner-operator truck driver, I would be up shit creek right now without everything you guys do to help with your support of the channel. And I appreciate you very much. That includes just watching the video, subscribing to the channel, liking the videos, leaving a comment, and sharing that out to your social media. Every bit of that. Excuse me, sorry. Good Lord, I'm just gonna die young, my friends. I have a lot of people that tell me, they say, dude, you need to go get that cough checked out. You really do. Well, bad news. I'm an American. We don't go get the cough checked out. We just wait to fucking die, because if this is a problem for me, well, then I can't afford it, my friends, and that's just the way it goes. But I really do think it's something, I don't know, I got a lot of theories. The vape ain't helping, of course, but obviously seasonal. I remembered when I was a kid, I was prescribed some seasonal allergy medication because I was always fucked up during the summer time and couldn't breathe for shit, and my lungs would go to hell. And I've started taking the over-the-counter variant, and it's not really helping too much. But hell, we'll see. I mean, we'll just see what happens, right? We could end up in the winter months, and I'll just be better, and I won't be hacking up a goddamn lung over here. Or, well, I'm on my way out, my friends. I'm going to kick the goddamn bucket any minute. I don't really fucking know, but I don't. I'm sorry. I kind of went off on a tangent about that there. It's just some days are worse than others, and that's just, I guess that's all I got to say on that. Thank you guys for all the support of the channel. I appreciate you so much. And thank you to everyone that does the super chats, super thanks, channel memberships, everything you do there. And of course, my favorite, the Buy Me a Coffee link, where they only take 5% of any donations you guys might want to do over there. You can find that link in the pinned comment and the description of every video. Thank you guys so much, because I truly mean that, because what I'm about to tell you today in this video is an indicator that I may be one of the last of the owner-operator truck drivers in this country, and I promise you I will hang on for fucking dear life as they try to wipe us off the face of the map, giving the bigger trucking companies all of the power out there and the ability to set the rates that you're going to pay as a consumer, and for the company truck drivers out there, when they get less and less competition, less and less trucking companies out there, you're just going to have to settle for whatever the fuck you can find, and they're going to treat you however they want. This idea of large trucking companies taking over the whole transportation landscape in America ends all fucking bad, my friends. That's what absolutely happens. So let me try to get to the point. There is a company out there called LANDSTAR, and LANDSTAR is a massive, massive owner-operator company. They, as far as I know, I could be a little bit wrong about this, but as far as I know, they only sign on owner-operators that have their own trucks to come and haul their freight under the LANDSTAR DOT numbers and all of those things, right? I don't believe that LANDSTAR has any company drivers, and they are absolutely a massive, massive company when it comes to the owner-operator side of trucking here in the United States. but they are also they are also a huge freight brokerage, which they will go out and bid on the freight, or I don't know exactly how brokerages work. It's a little bit over my head, but they have the freight and they will sell the freight to the highest, or most of the time the lowest bidder, to come in and haul the freight for them. Well, recently, as I think just yesterday, may have been the day before, LANDSTAR announced that out of their eligible carrier pool that they use in the United States, they have cut 35,000 of them from being able to haul freight under the LANDSTAR banner, for lack of better term, right? They were over 100,000 verified or trusted carriers that they used, and they have recently went to 65,000, right? And the reason this happened is all under this guise of the safety initiatives that are going on in the trucking industry, right? And I know that there is a Trump-humping trucker right now that is watching this going, so you don't believe that there should be safety in the trucking industry? And that's the problem with Trump supporters, with MAGA, is they don't have very nuanced brains, right? Everything's either one thing or the other. And I 100% do believe in safety in the trucking industry. I believe that every person that gets out there on the road to make their commute or whatever they're doing out there, I believe they should make it home. Their families shouldn't be killed because a trucker wasn't paying attention to what they were doing, or being unsafe or anything like that. Because in this modern era, truck driving is a very, very safe profession. I know that there's a lot of people out there trying to convince you otherwise, but for one, it requires a driver to just have patience, right? Sometimes you got to sit and wait. Sometimes you got to slow down. Sometimes you got to take your time. And that is a severely lacking thing in the trucking industry. I had somebody tell me that in the comments, that they saw a truck driver running down the interstate, basically 3 feet off the back bumper of a fucking Prius, just running them down on the road. And they said, my God, that was the most unsafe thing I've ever seen. Yeah, unfortunately, you see a lot of that. A lot of truckers with tiny peepees get out here, and they show off that tiny peepee, and they get really, really aggressive on the roads out here, and they will run a motherfucker down out there and try to intimidate people in smaller cars. And it's an extremely risky maneuver. It is complete bullshit. Yeah, it's annoying when people slow us down on the road, but like putting their life at risk because you got annoyed is an extremely fucking dumb thing that we see a lot. So yes, I believe 100% in safety of the trucking industry, right? What I also believe is that the administration, the MAGA movement, and outlets like Fox News also are fucking up the entire thing when they talk about this, because they frequently will find somebody with some sort of immigration status and find that they got in an accident in a truck, and they will sensationalize the fuck out of this entire thing and be like, and this is why immigrants should not be in this country, right? But what they will not do, what they'll never ever do, is find a white guy, American-born white guy, that did the exact same thing in a truck and make a big deal out of it in the same fucking fashion that they do with an immigrant truck driver. And I'm talking about coming through the legal process, whatever immigration paperwork has to be done, and the non-domiciled CDL legal process and all of that. That's a crazy thing that the fucking right always says about the people on the left. Oh, you want open borders and people to just do whatever they want. No, I want a fucking legal process, and I don't want to vilify every motherfucker that comes across the border like looking for a better life. For fuck's sake. And nuance, assholes. Nuance is what I'm trying to talk to you about right now. And I know a lot of Trump supporters don't fucking get that, right? But there's YouTube channels that are basically dedicated to getting out the pitchforks and going after immigrant truck drivers that are involved in accidents. But they will never, ever, ever, because they're dishonest people, ever point out that same thing when it comes to a white guy doing the exact same thing, right? So here's what's happening when it comes to this situation with LANDSTAR and many other carriers out there, is they are running these basically these safety reports through an algorithm, right? So when a very small carrier maybe gets involved in a minor accident, a minor incident, something like that, then they get a ding on their report that says that, hey, this carrier is no longer qualified to haul freight for you, because let's say it's a guy with one truck, right? He's just one guy with one truck that hauls a lot of freight for LANDSTAR, and that one guy with the one truck out there happens to bump into a pole pulling into a parking lot one day. Well, now he's just been involved in an accident, right? Well, out of the one truck that the guy has, that one truck has been involved in an accident, and now 100% of the company is accident prone, and they're out there raising hell and doing all kinds of crazy shit, right? And then the LANDSTAR algorithm goes, nope, off with your head, motherfucker. You don't get to drive here anymore, because the smaller carriers, that's how the numbers work, right? That's how numbers work. Like a lot of times, a lot of truck drivers go after the trucking company Swift. If you're ever talking to a Trump supporter too, but a truck driver, and he immediately starts making Swift jokes, the first thing you need to know about that guy is he's a dumb motherfucker. Like, he's just, I get really offended by bad comedy. I know it's a weird thing, but like, and I've told a few bad jokes in my day, don't get me wrong. It's not like I've never missed on a punchline before, but I get super offended by bad comedy. And the Swift trucking company is just like low-hanging fruit. And the reason is between Knight and Swift, which are two companies. Knight bought Swift quite a while ago, and they've got somewhere around 40,000 trucks, right? So the odds of a Swift truck being involved in an accident is substantially higher than a company out there with like 100 trucks or something like that. But the percentages look a whole lot fucking different. The company with 100 trucks by percentage is normally involved in more accidents than Swift is involved in. It's a weird fucking thing. It's not a weird thing. It's numbers. It's how they fucking work, right? So anyways, now what we're seeing is just this massive disruption of these 35,000 carriers that may include a whole lot of different people, my friends. What I'm trying to tell you here is, I'm not saying that a dangerous driver hasn't been taken off the road because of this, because that's probably absolutely happened, right? They probably have, in that 35,000, removed at least a few dangerous carriers out there that were problematic to the American people. That probably 100% happened. But also what happened in the fucking process is somebody that was involved in a minor fender bender with their one truck just got knocked the fuck out, my friends, just done. And if they were depending on that LANDSTAR freight as their what am I trying to say, their livelihood, then now they no longer fucking exist. But the LANDSTAR is following the policies of the federal government, who, according to LANDSTAR, they're not very clear in these policies. So if that one small owner-operator just got knocked out of LANDSTAR, he probably just lost everything, his entire livelihood, everything that's going on. And here's the part that disturbs me about it, my friends. It's really bothering me. Because with the entire process, there's no human looking at what's going on at this. It's just like I said, it's a computer algorithm deciding that whatever the computer says has determined that you're no longer eligible to haul LANDSTAR freight, right? And we know that this can be so many different fucking things going on. I mean, the possibilities are endless of what could have gone wrong in a truck. And does this minor infraction necessarily disqualify you from driving for LANDSTAR? Well, what's the computer say? What do you want, right? And so out of those 35,000 carriers that just got lost, maybe it would be safe to say that 10,000 of them were unsafe, a menace to society, and fuck them, they needed to go. But it also would be possible to say the other 25,000, like, had some minor shit go wrong, and now they're just fucking done. They're out, right? And the reason this is fucking disturbing, the reason this bothers me, is because us little guys don't have a way to defend ourselves when this fucking happens, right? We don't have a high-powered legal team behind us. We can't use our massive fleet of trucks to badger the insurance company to go to bat for us or any kind of thing like that. We're just up shit creek when it fucking happens, right? And so what we're seeing now as the Trump regime does these sweeping measures, right? We've seen the sweeping measures over and over when it came to the ICE Gestapo, how they went, well, if they're brown, fucking throw them on the ground. little bit, but that's I'm not proud of that. That's really fucking bad. But that's the Ice Gestapo philosophy, is this sweeping philosophy of fuck everybody, right? And that's the same thing that's happening to the trucking industry right now. So, as we see by these sweeping, broad sweeping policies, what we're seeing is the large companies openly brag about how much more money they're making now. Do you know why? Because capacity is getting wiped out of the market, my friends, and there has been a long-standing thing amongst truckers about how capacity needs to leave our market. Capacity in this situation, meaning truck drivers. Because we have too many truck drivers, right? And that is 100% true. And I will tell you the catalyst that caused us to have too many truck drivers. And that was when Donald Trump botched COVID and got so many people laid off from their fucking jobs because he didn't know what the fuck he was doing. A lot of people look to the trucking industry as this recession-proof industry, and people flocked towards us, right? And when they did, and they got their CDLs and they got out and started driving, it caused this massive expansion of capacity out here in the trucking industry to where rates fell through the fucking floor because there were truck drivers everywhere. And on top of that, the fuel prices were high as fuck back then too. And when we got the low rates and the high fuel prices, we just went the fuck under, right? And for years, in the first place, and people would have ran to our industry because they just needed a paycheck. I hate those people because they were trying to make a living. I don't know what to tell you, right? But what I'm trying to explain, I got myself sidetracked again, is companies are openly bragging now, the large companies out there, about the increase in rates, how year over year they're making like 19% more for the freight they used to haul last year. And the reason for that is, my friends, we're all on board here. We know what I'm about to say, right? The reason for that is so much of the little guy has been knocked the fuck out of this industry that now a few major carriers are basically in control of the entire system. Now, we're not quite there yet, but we will get there. But they're in control of the entire thing. And now that they've got all the trucks, they've got all the drivers, they can now set the market rate for what is going on. And they will go out there, they will say, look at us, we're making 19% more. Look at our shares, our stock prices are going up because some of these trucking companies are publicly traded and the shareholders are happy, they're investing more, they're like, fuck yeah, these guys are making more money. And not a single fucking cent of that goes to the truck driver in the United States that is out there doing all of the fucking work. All the increased extra money that's being made by these companies now is going to line the pockets of the CEOs, the executives, and the shareholders that are out there, while we once again get the fucking shaft on the entire thing, right? So this is really fucking bad because we don't know that of these 35,000 carriers, it is 100% fact that every one of them was just too dangerous to be on the road. If that were true, somebody dropped the ball a long fucking time ago, right? But unfortunately, what is happening is the little guys getting caught in the crossfire and the sweeping legislation, I guess. I don't know that it's actual legislation because Donald Trump doesn't do legislation at all. He just tells people what to fucking do when they go do it. But because of these sweeping policies, many small owner-operators, small carriers are just getting knocked the fuck out, my friends. And it's a horrifying, absolutely terrifying thing. And it makes me really sad because I remember when I came into trucking, and I always get a lot of shit from other truckers when I point this out, but like, what do you want me to say? The industry changed and the people in it changed and the people in it allowed the industry to change. And I, for one, am not excited about it. When I first got into trucking, everybody out here, if they drove for a company, wanted to be an owner-operator. They wanted to be independent and go do their own thing. And through all the years of the assault on the small owner-operator in America, excuse me, it has broken down morale so fucking bad that people are just afraid to go be an owner operator, and they are quite content to just go be a company driver, be told what to do, work for low wages, watch the corporate profits roll in, and be basically verbally abused by a dispatcher at every point of the day. And we lost our fucking hope and our spirit a long fucking time ago. And right now we're looking at through these sweeping fucking policies that have no common sense. We're looking at so many more of the little guy carriers just being wiped out of the whole fucking equation. And that's the part of the entire thing that bothers me. So to wrap it up, I'm not opposed to safety policies. I'm not opposed from the government targeting carriers on an individual level that have proven themselves to be a menace in one way or another. What I don't like about the entire thing is just the broad, wide range, sweeping fucking no common sense approach to it, and watching our fellow entrepreneurs, people with a dream and a goal out here, just overnight just lost fucking everything. And that should bother everyone out there. If you truly believe in like this American dream that we can do whatever we want, you shouldn't be sitting aside and cheering on this kind of policy that nobody's like no human is paying attention to. And you should be very frightened that right now it's the trucking industry that's getting it. But what's next? I mean, what are they going to consolidate next to the few very rich and very powerful people through the same kind of policy? And what bothers me the most, my friends, is watching people that do not see the damage that's being done to the small business owners in this country, and they cheer it on and they say, well, it's good because we're making the roads much safer and the rates are going up. The roads are much safer just because of the numbers at this point. The Trump administration, I guess I'm going to go on for a half hour. I don't know. The Trump administration is probably going to come out a year from now and say, look how much safer we've made America's highways, not taking into account that there used to be 3 million truck drivers and now there's 2 million, and that's just how numbers work, right? And they're going to take a victory lap on that, and it's masking the fact that they caused 1 million fucking people to be unemployed, out of a goddamn job in a bullshit economy, and their victory lap will be extremely misguided, right? But it also bothers me when, a company driver out there talks about how, bro, what are you mad about? Rates are up. Why are you celebrating your corporate overlords having a bigger payday? What is going on? Tell me how that affects you in a positive way. And I don't really get it. So I guess what I'm trying to say is it bothers me when people are willing to watch other people lose so that they can win. That's the biggest point here. Because if we had an expanding economy, a good economy, we wouldn't need to shake off capacity from the trucking industry. What we would be doing is saying we need more fucking drivers because we can't keep up with what's going on. But because this economy is shrinking so rapidly, the only reasonable way to keep wages somewhat decent in the trucking industry is cause a lot of motherfuckers to lose their asses in the process. And that's not good, my friends. I don't like any bit of that. So anyways, I better get back to work. Love you guys. Bye now.
Okay. That was a lot. Okay, again, his name is Eating the Cat, Eating the Cats, which is a unique trucker. Now, he is a trucker. He was sitting in my truck talking the whole time. Okay, this video is literally 49 minutes old. Excuse me. And it already has over 800 views. Okay, so go subscribe to him. And again, his name is Ed Eating the Cats, and it's spelled just like that. All right, yeah. So shout out to all my LANDSTAR people. Our prayers are out with you. That my USA truck can cut me anytime when they feel like it. You know what I'm saying? And I will either have to go back to the Walmart dedicated US Express, or I would have to go warehousing jobs, AI machines are taking that over as well. So, hey. Hey. knows, what I would have to do. But I do think it's a sucky situation. They're giving the guys, I think Landstar is slowly declining. They slowly are shrinking the fat. Me personally, from knowing a lot of you guys, I've never been a Landstar, but I'm just knowing and talking to a lot of you guys who's been there for years, and how you are making money and not making money, um, that kind of jazz. I I just feel like, hold on, put my phone up, the song up. We're gonna play some more in a minute. I'm gonna plug it up for a minute. We're gonna just chit chat with Shake for about a good 15, 20 minutes here. Hold on, hold up. Oh, y'all. I just came back from taking a shower. Ouch. I've had pains in my right leg. Ow. Okay. Anyway, um, me personally, because I put Landstar and Great White pretty much next to each other. And if you go and look at Great White now, Great White has very much trimmed a lot of their fat. They used to do everything like Landstar, but now they only do nothing but van and flatbed. Okay. They don't even have the program anymore where you could dispatch and get paid to dispatch. Remember, what's the name? Highway Diva was there. They trimmed all of that. So I think the Landstar is downsizing. I think that they're catching some financial troubles, and before it gets too late and they have to totally sell out or shut down. They gave the guys or this guys of safety, but I don't believe that safety was the main reason why they cut over 40,000 people. I believe that they rounded up some of the people that either probably don't run as hard, don't probably do as many loads a month, and probably it could be some safety issues. It could be that you're catching a ticket every month. It could be you've been shut down so many times. I'm pretty sure if you've been shut down more than 2 or 3 times this year, your name came up in the register to cut the fat. Um, but I do believe that that's not the core reason of cutting. Like I said, it's the middle of the year, it's the middle of the summer, 2026, and all of a sudden, you're seeing a mega company like that just cut that many people. Okay, and I just think that there is another underlying reason to what's going on. You know what I'm saying? This little butt, you running. You got a mess over there too. You doing something you ain't had no business. Getting up and running off. When I get up and walk to the front, gets up and moves because you be doing things that I'm going to yell at him for. Sam is somewhat like a human. Somewhat like a human person here. Or he tries to tell his little self that. He's nothing but a little pup. Hold on, y'all. I ain't gonna flashlight. I'm about to order me some Walmart in a minute. That's what I'm about to do. Because I had me some wings last night. Yeah. But no, I don't think this is coincidence. Like we saw with YRC. Um, you know, even though, Landstar, I mean, is huge, it's one of the hugest companies. Landstar has been the saving grace for a lot of you owner operators. If I would have made it with Baby Blue, I definitely had my mind set on being there at Landstar, you know. But then I don't know if I've been one of the ones cut or not. You know what I'm saying? Um, how it was there. It was taking what, like 6 weeks to get on at Landstar. But that's almost even unheard of. You know what I'm saying? Just to get on and drive and just to put your truck on there. You know what I'm saying? Ah, Lord. Yep, almost unheard of, right? But it didn't take that long to get on with USA Truck. It took me like a week and a half. But yeah, prayers up, shots out. They said Calvin Lee had something to say about it. But when I went to the page, I didn't see anything that showed you saying anything about Landstar. We'll check it out in a minute. Let my first phone charge up there. And besides everybody I showed, but that's crazy. But like I said, if Landstar has to downsize and do something different, y'all, we not safe. We're not safe. Neither one of us are safe. You know that? Atlanta of all places. You know what I'm saying? I was worried to hear USA Truck because we got bought out from DP Smuckler. We went back to being private. And I said, oh Lord, what they gonna do? You know how they use and they change corporations, they big companies and all kind of good stuff. And so, I was like, oh Lord, I haven't even been here a year yet. You know what I'm saying? But I'm still here, praise God. So, I don't know, child. We supposed to be in the middle of the war, right? As a man said in one of the previous videos earlier. So, I don't see why any trucking company would have to downgrade right about now. It doesn't incorporate a lot of sense unless there's been less. Like I said, me personally, I don't think it's been about money for a lot of trucking companies. Period. I think it has been just ignorance and overspending of money there. I think freight moves too much of all kind: construction, food, clothing, medical, fuel. Yeah, So I just feel like you know for companies to get so big, all of a sudden they going belly up or downsizing. There is some internal issues going on, and nobody wants to do what needs to be done to correct them. Okay, so yeah, yeah, something's going on. Like, we gonna have to kind of let this play out. Watch Landstar for the next 6 months. Those of you that's still there, if I was you, I would just be saving majority of my coins, stop going out to eat, and could me some coupons, and what I'm talking about. That's the type of time I think I would be on right now. Yeah, it's just you right now you can halfway kind of see the end coming. You know what I mean? You can kind of see it, kind of see the end coming down right now. Yeah, for sure. Be careful, man. Be careful. That's why I say I try to save my little coin. My little coin little. It's little compared to most. It's little compared to people like T. and Poe. It's little. Very, very little. Hold on. Testing, testing. I'm back. Like I said, links in the chat if you want to pop up for a minute. KLCTU pole back out here riding. I can't believe that. I'm proud of my dude out here getting to the money. Trying to get to the money, that is. Everybody trying to get to the money. You know what I'm saying? Everybody supposed to be eating. See, I get paid by day, so my money capped. Okay? I can't get too excited or too upset. My money capsized, baby. Okay? My money capped all the time. Yeah, I wait for Ghost to come back up. You know, Ghost girls like to you know, you have to see you down for his nap. He is down for his nap, so. Oh, Lord. Oh, y'all. I was getting over walking sand for the hour, but it's so fucking hot. It's like 99 damn degrees. So I'm gonna sit and chill my ass here till the sun go down. I'm gonna wait till about 6 o'clock and get my little walk in. It's my first time doing 34 wheel in Kansas. Ain't shit out here either. There's a Walmart 15 minutes up. I thought about breaking my what's it called. Yeah, Lord. But all I would have is like 8 or 9 hours to run. Then tomorrow I'll be sitting somewhere else sitting up. You know what I'm saying? That's how much time I don't have left on my thing. Yeah, Lord. But I still want my own equipment. With everything that's been said, I still want my own equipment. I still want my own truck. Yes, I do. Yeah, I sure do. I know that sounds crazy, son. We just talk about LANDSTAR. I do. It's an achievement that I want to have for myself. I don't know if I mentioned this other. I know I mentioned before, but this might make 9 years. I've been trucking 9 years, and y'all have seen the struggle, like for real. It's a personal stuff for myself in the right way. I want to get trucking the right way. Yes, I do. Okay, man, ain't nothing wrong with any way you got yours, but I want mine the right way. My mind the right way. Yes, sir. Where you at, Ghost? You said you gonna do some research. I don't know what KO said. He been kind of ghost for a minute. Ghosty, ghosty. Everybody said they making money. It's definitely freight around Dallas. That's for sure. Dallas and Oklahoma is definitely a freight boy. Definitely, definitely, definitely. Oh, oh Jesus. So get to work. You telling y'all look to his dog food. Look to FedEx. Look to what else is a good one? Damn, plastic. Plastic's another one. And plastic is light. Plastic is always a good load to pick. That's if you able to pick your own loads from the spot market. I was trying to help y'all out sometimes. You know, I know I'm company driver. I was trying to help y'all out. Because I know the feeling. I know what it feels like to be picking on the damn load board and do these brokers. We haven't heard from KB in about a good 4 or 5 days. So we hoping he doing alright too. But the last time we talked, he was winning. Him Pink shot the Pinky too and said everybody winning. But so this right here with LANDSTAR took my bomb like left like for real. But one good thing I wanna know is if you have to cut 40,000 people, then how will the brokers doing over there? You know what I'm saying? Brokers and brokers agents over there. You know? So yeah, take that into consideration. Yeah, take that into consideration. You know, if they have to do that, of course the brokers ain't seeing what they need to see. And we can keep blaming Trump. We can keep blaming Trump. I'll play like the last guy, kids. Yeah, but at some point we have to do some internal research in our industry and blame ourselves. Like I told you when I was dispatching, it's so many guys that have their own authority, blessed to have their own authority, because I feel like your authority is a blessing to even do in the first place. That they were set up so wrong, y'all. They was paying some of their guys to cash up. I mean, who does that in the truck? Like for real. You know what I'm saying? So, um, I just we gotta look at ourselves up too. We gotta if you gonna step up to get your own numbers, you gotta be right. You know. You have to be watching the temperature in the room. If you see that you're not making enough money, if you see you're not able to save enough money, if you start to see that the low board freight is decreasing. I mean, I'm pretty sure there was some kind of warning signs before the cut was made with Landstar. We just didn't catch it. You know what I'm saying? You knew about a couple of your favorite brokers quitting. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, somebody saw the end somewhere coming. Somebody did. Okay, trying to tell you. Nah, y'all ain't gonna come on here. I don't know what happened to Ghost. And I not coming on here. But yeah. But shout out to everybody over there. Shout out to everybody. You know, and stay strong and don't give up on your CDL. You know what I'm saying? Don't stay stagnant. Uh, Try another company out. Take you a week or two off. Get yourself together. Relax your mind. And you know, do what you need to do. You know what I'm saying? Landstar is not the only company. It was supposed to be one of the top 5 companies winning awards and shit. You feel me? But to me, I believe it's a means to an end. I believe it's a means to them uh, shutting your doors down. And I don't think this is going to be the last final cut that they make in anything. They're going to be cutting a few more things off. Also, um, you know, I see them probably cutting off box truck and dually hauling probably next. That's probably gonna be one of the things they cut. They probably keep heavy haul because heavy haul brings in so much money. And van, of course, they think more van, of course. So I see that happening. I really, really do. Not to wish it, not to want to see y'all do bad, but just be prepared. Now that you know what's going on, you feel me? But we'll talk about it a little more. I'm gonna go back live a little bit later on because we're gonna continue this conversation when I have more of you on. So I will see y'all later. Subscribe, like, comment, and y'all be safe out there.